What's up guys, it's me AQ. You've probably seen the title of this video and wondering, can under 18s open a company in the UK? The answer is yes, you can open a company in the UK. So I wanted to make this video to share with young future entrepreneurs like myself on how you can get started as a company. Now the benefits to opening a company is you can reduce your tax, you can also avoid income tax by paying yourself in dividends, capital gains tax, basically a lot of tax reductions. Now, the first question is, can under 18s own shares in companies? Yes, even if you're 7 years old, you can own shares in companies, even voting shares. So if there's a directors meeting or a shareholder meeting, you can be there and you can vote on decisions. But you can't be a director until you're 16 years old. So you must be 16 to be able to run the company and make decisions legally. Now, being a director of a company is a really serious role. Now, if you screw up and mess up something during the company, so like you miss filings and you're the only director, you could get fined and you could be prosecuted. So it's a really serious role being a director of a company. Now, also, if you commit fraud in your company, you could also be held criminally liable. So remember, being a director is no joke. It's a big, big role and you must take it seriously. Now, when you're registering your company, you can pick any name, but you have to make sure it's not offensive, not a racial slur, nothing that violates the rules. Now, when you're registering the company as well, you can decide who owns shares. So it could be a child, it could be an adult, it could be yourself if you're under 18, and you can register online by with Companies House, or you could use someone else like a broker to help you, or an accountant. I recommend using an accountant, but if you want to do it yourself, you can. It's cheap as well. It's about £50 when you do it online and £71 by post. I recommend doing it online unless you really want to go with post, which I wouldn't really recommend. Now, you also must sign some rules. We're going to go over that in a minute. And the big question is, how do you get paid if you open a company and you're 16 and you're the director? Now, many banks offer direct credit cards for companies, but you must be 16 years old to open a company bank account. And usually you can open it autonomously, but certain high street banks like Barclays, they might require a parent signature or someone else that's 18. So you might want to take that note. Anyways, let's go into the PDF file. So as you can see here, this is the PDF file, right? And you're going to get this certificate when you incorporate your company. They're going to give you this, your company number and your company name. Now, you're going to decide what your company name is going to be. The first question they're going to ask you. They're also going to ask you, where do you want to register your company? I chose England and Wales. They're also going to ask you, where is your company office going is to be? I chose an office where I have access to, and they're going to ask you your SIC codes. What is your company doing? Now, with an SIC code, you can ask ChatGPT to generate one for your company specific. So if you're a shop, you can get an SIC code for that. It's just codes for everything. Now, the second thing they're going to ask you is, who are your proposed officers? Obviously, I chose myself, but if you're under 16, I recommend putting your parent or another 16-year-old you trust. And yeah, you'll submit a lot of information. Now, here is where the fun part comes. So, I chose two sets of shares for my company. I chose regular shares, ordinary. I gave myself 1,000. That means anything happens, I can vote at a director's meeting. And also chose redeemable shares, so the company can buy it back and I get charged 20% tax. So it's a very tax efficient way. I'm not going to get too in depth in that. If you want to really get in depth in that, I recommend speaking to an accountant. They have really good knowledge on this. And here's my initial shareholdings, right? So this is the person who owns how much. So for every person, this can be another page, but it's showing how much one person owns. So as you can see, how much I own in my own company. And make sure you are smart when saying your capital. You don't want to owe your company like 10,000 or £100,000. Make sure it's a really low number. As you can see, I did 1 and 1p. And this page is persons with significant control. So who controls the company? And as you can see, it is me. I control the company, and it's going to ask their correspondent address. Make sure, please, put your correspondent address as your company address. And don't use your home address because all of this is public unless you want your home address public. And you can also see my date of birth, which is 2009, to show you I'm not bluffing. I am 16, and this is how we get it done. And then you can see this is what I have to agree with. Yes, I own 75% or more of my own company, And then you have to agree to this statement, lawful purpose statement. Then you also have to agree to statement of compliance. Make sure you agree to it, otherwise you can't form your company. And then you have to sign the memorandum. Basically, you check a box online or you sign it on if you're doing it on paper. It's a memorandum of association to show that yes, you associate with this company. Make sure everyone that's there actually agrees. So if you're a child, right, if you're also doing it for a child, make sure they agree to it. Make sure you get their verbal or paper consent. That's pretty much it, guys. If you're under 18 and thinking about starting a company, it's completely doable. Just if you're under 16, right, you can appoint your parent or some trusted adult or someone over 16 to be your director, and you can still own the whole company. Just remember that you can only be a director until you're 16. But even if you're young, you can start building your business and gaining experience early. If this video helped you, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment, especially if you want me to make a video on how to open a company bank account as a teen. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.